Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. On this episode, I'm talking to founder, singer-songwriter, and lead vocalist of the rock band Dayseeker, Rory Rodriguez. Let's go.
That's my kind. I don't want no bad times. I don't want to have bad.
Obviously a busy guy. You have a couple kids, right?
2 kids, teenagers.
I can't believe that. It's just
Crazy.
I think people like you and anybody I remember just from like being a teenager, you just expect these people to stay like in their 20s forever. Yeah. So when like it's we were talking earlier and they told me you had kids who were teenagers and I'm just like that's
why I'm late today.
It's crazy, dude.
My wife went out of town and I knew it was going to be a hard day because my kids do not listen to me. She runs the shop. So when she leaves, it's like the fucking cats are, what does it say? When the cat's away, the mice will play. The mice fucking play. I'm like, time to get up, guys. I'm trying to be like, mornings were always kind of weirdly traumatic for me as a kid. I don't know why. Like my mom and my dad, when he was around, they were really like stressed and it was harsh and it was like really terrible. So I never want a morning to feel like terrible. So I refuse to like care that much about leaving on time in the mornings.
Yeah, of course.
And my wife's the opposite. She's like, we got to go. They have to be at school. Do you realize like it's like the law? And I was like, I don't think it's the law, but I get it. So she's the one who cracks the whip. And I'm like, okay, guys, it's time to get up. And I like tiptoe in their room. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to. They look so comfortable sleeping. And it's a really emotionally hard thing for me to like wake them from their like dreams.
Oh, totally. I have a 3-year-old, so it's not the same, but
it's the same.
I suppose so. Yeah. It kills me. Not very often. She's usually up like 20 minutes before I am, but every once in a while she'll just be out and I have to like shake her and wake her up. And I'm just like, I just feel.
Cause
so
I'll bet you from what I understand, you had a very complicated relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
And so that complicates everything as a kid.
Yeah.
So as a parent, the last thing you want to do is complicate your relationship with your kid in any way. You just don't want to cause any pain.
Yeah. I had a very clear understanding kind of from my upbringing with my mom that I needed to do everything that I could to not be that kind of parent for my kid. And so I feel like I relate in that sense for sure. Like I want to make sure. It's my weird paranoia about when she gets older. I'm just like, yes. I feel like I'm going to do everything I can to maintain like the best healthy relationship with her. And I still feel like
and you're still paranoid.
Yeah. And I'm just worried that there's still going to be a strain. It just feels like there's this weird, I forgot. I feel like my uncle told me, he's like, you're hitting this golden era of like 4 to 12, they think you're like a superhero and they just love you. He's like, and then when they become teenagers, you're like not that cool anymore because you're their dad.
Let me tell you something. As a guy who had complicated relationships with his parents, when they turn into teenagers, it's really painful.
Really?
Absolutely. Thank God for therapy because I had to be parented through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had to have someone go, no, like this is actually like what is supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. They're like breaking away from you a little bit and becoming their own person. And the little kid is gone and they'll come back every now and then and like show you they love you. But like, that's what they need to do. They need to go into their own space and become their own person. And like, it's like 13, it starts really like, but I have the same paranoia about you, about when they got older, would we still be close?
Yeah. And
that's just from not having deeply connected relationships with my parents.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. My dad left when I was young. My mom struggled with all kinds of stuff, like she was a single mom and she was dealing with like her mental health and her health. And there was a real fracture in the family and I don't even blame them. Now as a parent, I totally understand like they're all doing it. Actually talked to The Rock about this. We had a good conversation about this. They're doing it to their capacity. Like even with their afflictions, right? My dad was an alcoholic. And so I got to a space where I could accept them as an adult, but they still left me with I have no model for what happens what happens when they get older. Do they still love me? Right, Are we still close?
Yeah.
And the truth is that they do. And I'm learning that as they continue to get older, like, and I work on it because I go like dedicated therapy on, and this is like one of the things I work on all the time is like my own insecurity about, am I a good dad? You know what I mean?
It's fucked up because I started therapy. I tried a few years ago and just didn't feel like it was the best fit with the person I was seeing. And then I started again about 6 or 7 weeks ago. And it really is a trip realizing I went in for like one thing and then it kind of unraveled into where I was like, I think I'm pretty like mentally healthy and I'm doing okay. And then all this stuff started coming up and then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of broken in more ways than I realized. But it was interesting realizing that it did feel like as people, you're just the byproducts of your parents and and it's just pointing out the parallels of like how I was with how my mom was like, had an addiction to methamphetamine. It kind of like melted her brain in a way where even after she stopped doing it, she was still like, the government's like out to get us. And I kind of grew up thinking that was like a normal mom experience. And then I went into high school and started sleeping over at my buddies' houses and saw all these really like super sweet, nurturing moms going like, you guys need anything? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's the parenting experience that you guys get. But it's a trip because she started pointing out my parallels in relationships with women that like I get like attracted to women who seem like they're unavailable or they're like hard. Like, I don't know if they actually really like me. And it's like,
yeah, that's your experience.
Yeah. And she's like, that's how it was with your mom. That's like,
how you were loved.
Yeah. Like chaotic, unstable, like vying for this woman's affection. She's not really giving it to you. So it's like, it ends up just translating into like how you are like romantically. And so it's tripped me out realizing I didn't used to think those two were that closely related. And then I started going and I was like, holy shit, this is like, it's pretty dead on.
It's crazy that for some reason we think that we're not the way our parents loved us, right? Because I really believe this, like in all their failures, they still loved us. There are some times where I think like, I wouldn't let my kids stay at that house overnight, right?
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
My own house growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like there were too many problems. I lived there. And then I think about with my own kids, I'm like, I wouldn't let my fucking kid go back there and spend the night.
Yeah.
Because I'm too protective of them.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that they didn't love us. It certainly doesn't mean that they didn't love other things more than us, whether they chose it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
But
Totally.
when you go to therapy and you actually accept that, like, look, I don't know what I need to work on, but I need to work on something because I don't feel happy.
Yeah. There's my therapist described it in a really good way that she says most people who come to her are fragmented and her whole concept is that she just wants to make sure they do enough therapy to where they leave feeling whole and more complete and I don't know. Yeah. Interesting stuff. She's kind of into this thing called EMDR therapy. Have you heard of that? Yeah.
It's somewhere in like the hypnosis area, right?
Yeah. It's kind of she has this long kind of tube light that she puts in front of me and your eyes basically follow it back and forth. And there's something, and then you have like a safe space that you go to. For me, I don't know why, but I picked Chain Reaction in Anaheim as my safe space. It was my first
safe unless there's a hardcore show there.
Yeah. It was my first show I went to, and I was like 15, and it was this super shot local show, like bunch of
good memory.
Yeah, a bunch of pop punk bands, and there was, including me and my buddy, probably like 15 people there, and we hung out like after the show and talked to all the bands. It was like, oh my god, you're so cool. And then I felt like that was the first time I sort of fell in love with like live music. So, and I have a lot of good memories. We rehearse there a lot of times now before we go out on tour, and my daughter has like come to hang out, and so there's great. Like, I just have nice little pocket memories. So like it's interesting. There's something about your eyes following this light that's meant to connect the left and right side of your brain together. And then she'll basically have you think about something that's like really distressing. And then at some point she'll tell you to switch over. And then I say Chain Reaction out loud. And then I mentally, while I'm following the light, try and lock into like I'm in my happy place. I'm rehearsing, or my daughter's there and we're hanging out. And then it's meant to be kind of a tool of like, if you find yourself in real life in situations where you're like shit, this is like really stressing me out, or I don't like this, you can kind of be like, oh, like chain reaction and like lock into this spot. But it's still super early, but it's going really well. I feel like I should have started going a long time ago, but it is.
So do I.
It's just a trip realizing like I used to think I handled things well in difficult situations. And I think she's pointing out that at a young age, I learned a tool of resilience to compartmentalize, and I would get hit with a really difficult thing and I would just do a shitty duct tape job and then kind of push it off. And then I think I've just been doing that as I've gotten older. And then she's kind of now, I think that's what she wants to do with this EMDR thing, is like transport to times. Back when I was younger, my mom was doing drugs, and like maybe as a kid, I like just pushed it out really quick. And she's like, I want to offer support to like your younger self, maybe like when he needed it, and it'll maybe help you feel better as like an adult, instead of trying to like push difficult things away as they come at you. But it's hard being in your 30s and trying to like unlearn just how you've been for your whole life, basically.
How old are you?
34.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
you're young.
I started. Feel like it,
I started around the same time.
Really?
Yeah, that's when I really started therapy. My wife was like, I think you should maybe, she'd been going to therapy her whole life. Totally. And I never really did through my 20s and through all my experiences. I think music was my therapy.
Oh, same. Yeah.
It's what made me feel better. It's where I realized things. It's where I, at a very slow pace, unpacked things and in my own way made peace with some things and felt better about things. At the same time, it wasn't always the healthiest environment. It wasn't always the healthiest people around. And I didn't really know how to discern all that stuff. And when I met her, we got serious and we started a family. She was like, I think you should go to therapy. I think you have like some stuff to work out. And I was like, you need to go to therapy. She goes, she was like, I go to therapy, you know? So then I started down that road trying to find someone, and I would go for a month and then I'd stop, or 2 months and I'd stop, and trying different people. And then I met a guy, an amazing guy, through a friend who knew I was seeking out those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And, you know, in LA, it's like a fucking playground with gurus and therapists. And
yeah.
God bless them all. Like, they really do help people, but I'm not really a guru guy. I can't have someone where I feel like I have to follow them and I need to check in with them on everything. I need like another person who I respect. Yeah. So which is hard to find, like someone that I look up to. Cause I've always been a little bit of like, I'll show you, I'm gonna, you know, I always had the chip on my shoulder. So I met this guy through a friend of mine who I respected. He's a very successful guy, really has his shit together, married, great dad. And I was always asking him, like, man, how do you do it? You're such a fucking you're good at everything you do.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys. He just gets after it. And he's like, the marriage, the kids, the business, working out, all the things that I didn't have in my head wrapped around. And he was like, to be honest with you, I work really hard at it, and I have a really great therapist. And then he introduced me to him, and I've been with him for 12 years. Like, life changer, game changer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you.
That's I feel like it's important, I think, especially as I don't know, I feel like as men sometimes we're convinced that I don't know, I feel like I think before I went to therapy, I think music has allowed me to be very emotionally expressive in conversation, and I'm always down to kind of talk about trauma or just get into like the nitty gritty. I don't want to talk about the weather with people. And I feel like airing out your life and your songs, you kind of just find a natural comfort in that in your day-to-day life. But it's funny that even like guys in my band or close friends, it's just I'll see them go through really challenging things, and I'm like, do you want to like talk about that? And they're kind of like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm a big advocate for, I mean, mental health for everybody. It's not exclusive to men. It's any gender. I've met people where it's like I'm trying to like help rip it out of them because I can tell they're about to burst because they're just keeping all these things inside. And I'm always like, if you're comfortable to talk about it, that's great. But I think it would do you a lot of good to just, I always feel better as soon as I vent anything out that I'm going through. And I feel like there's a lot of this just suck it up and deal with your feelings with men. So you're a good role model for that then, because 12 years is a is a long
I mean,
time.
I needed it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have anything in my life the way I have it. Right? You can have stuff,
Yeah.
but do you have it if you don't know you have it? Do you have it if you can't see it? Do you have it if you can't feel it? You know what I mean? So to actually have a life, you have to live in it. And what happens with trauma is we just want to get out of our body and we don't want to deal with life at all.
Yeah.
And then somewhere down the road as we grow up, it says especially the young emotional trauma and all the different kinds of things you can experience as a kid in a rough situation. So we get out of that and we think we fixed it because we're out of it.
Right.
We didn't really fix it. We just got down the road here where life is dramatically better.
Yeah.
But we're still actually kind of back there because we didn't heal anything.
Yeah.
And then are we really living in our real life if we're not really here most of the time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm super new into it, but I'm very optimistic about, I don't know, a lot of
You
different
seem
things.
super therapized though.
Yeah.
You're very calm.
And
open.
I think it's just trauma,
Yeah.
from, being a kid. And like, I mean, it's how we talked. It's like I don't know if it was different for your experience in like Good Charlotte, but it feels like our content is just so heavy sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think I started recognizing that hooked people in by just being super transparent. And when we play live, I'll talk a lot about like what the songs meant to me or what I was going through. And it is interesting, yeah, being that open about it. But then, I was talking to my therapist about it, and she goes like, "What's left for you at the end of the day, like emotionally?" And it's truthfully not a lot. I feel like most of my life is pretty open and on display. But I mean, you get a lot of people who reach out though and say like, "This really, really helped me through a challenging time." And I think that's what I looked for in music, at least when I was in high school, when I was like in the thick of really, really shitty times with my mom and just feeling like life was this constant uphill battle and it was just never really got easier. And then I'd put on like Linkin Park or something and there was all this angst and emotion. And I was like, I think that guy kind of knows what I'm going through. And it made me feel really good when I would listen to it because it felt like I was getting out how I was feeling through their music. And it's definitely one of my favorite parts in being a musician recently is just feeling like it came like full circle and now we get to do the same thing for people who listen to our music.
I feel that. I think you do. That's what I get from your music. Chester is a great example of, I think he did know.
Mm-hmm.
I think he went through horrible things.
Yeah.
And then you start to realize, I think that's the power of music is like, you start to realize that you feel alone when you're going through that stuff, that horrible stuff, but because you are alone in it. But there are definitely people out there that have gone through it, whether they've conquered it, they made it out of it, and they turned their life into something positive. You're a great example. Like, I think I'm an example of that too. Like, you could argue that the statistics of us growing up in all these categories, right? Parent with an addiction, single parent home, XYZ, right? The statistics say we're likely addicts. We're likely high likelihood of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I come across one of those statistics that I could relate to, and I go, oh, I beat another one. I beat another statistic, another odd. It's not so much it is about me feeling good about myself and my siblings because we did it together, but also like the people that are out there that are actively going through that horrible time, people that are listening to your music are listening to it, not only because it's good, but it immediately strikes me when I listen to your music, oh, this guy's gone through something. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes you feel connected to the person singing and it makes you feel less alone. And for someone that's actively going through that horrible time, it gives them the hope and the example and the model that they need, because when you're going through it, you don't have a lot of hope and a lot of models around you. No. They're saying, hey, things are going to be great for you.
Yeah.
The odds are great for you.
No, it's something you definitely have to dig yourself out of, so to speak. And I thank God every day that I like found music, and that I don't know, I really don't know where my life would be if I didn't just stumble onto a guitar when I was 15. I was like, I think I'm just gonna give this a go and see how it goes. Same age. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Yeah, it's just weird. It's not like we're not like the biggest band in the world, but I still, if our band ended tomorrow, I'd be like so grateful for just everything I've gotten to experience as a result of it, and grinding out. There were a lot of years, where you go on tour, and I'd go out for like a month and come home with $200 in my pocket, and it was pretty brutal, for
Yeah, it's a hard life.
for a while. And then you start making a little bit more, and you're like, oh, cool, maybe there's a possibility
I'll be okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, it finally got to that point a few years ago where I'm more comfortable, than I've ever been in my life because of music. And it's, I mean, it took so long to get there.
So I always encourage bands that I like, because I spend a majority of my life and time working with artists,
Right.
and helping them try to develop and do exactly what everyone's trying to do, right? Is make great music, and I want as many people as possible to hear the music, and then that's how you build a career, right? Mm-hmm. The function of the amount of people that either know about your band or hear your band doesn't actually have anything to do with the quality of the music. It's just a function of distribution, marketing, and time. So in a world where things can blow up on TikTok and things like that, which is great possibility. And certainly artists should try and find their version of working that algorithm and doing whatever, because that's a marketing function. It's not going to work for everyone, but if you do it your own way, you could benefit from it. So I always kind of go like TikTok and Instagram and social media. Weird for artists because we're not necessarily like interested in marketing. We just want to make records and we want to put them out.
Some people are like,
some people are good at it.
Some people post TikToks every 2 days. I'm like, I'm not that smart. I can't come up with that
It's natural, right? I'm the same way. This show's been amazing because it gives me a reason to be on social media. I just promote the show.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I finally feel like I found my place.
Yeah.
Because I struggled for so long. Like, what do I even say? And I felt like I had to, because everyone's like, you got to promote something. And so this is really nice. But I always encourage artists to like trust the music. You guys make great music.
Thanks, man.
It's growing, but it's like a tree. It grows slow sometimes, so you don't know what kind of tree it is. But like if you water it, you just keep doing what you're doing, it's working.
Yeah.
It's not going down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all going up.
Yeah.
And then there's these inflection points, and you don't know where they are, but you can predict they're somewhere between here and there. There's some inflection point where a song maybe connects because it's good. And I really believe in the music and the art. Like if you make the record you love, everyone else will come to discover it on their own. And sometimes maybe it is a TikTok, I don't know, but it'll be something that you tried, that you did. You put the record out, you went on tour, and like then you have that moment where you're like, holy shit, man, like look what we've done. It just happens slow sometimes, and then it happens fast.
Yeah,
you know?
it's been I think it's something I've tried to remind myself of just the longer we've been a band, because we put out a record a few years ago called Sleep Talk, and it felt like it was our first big rise commercially, where it just like, oh shit, there's like so many people singing the words, and it was so well received online. Like, and then it was hard though, because you could tell that there's some people, I think, still with that record, they hold that as like our golden child. So then we put out an album called Dark Sun after that. And it's funny that album came out. It was the first day of a tour. We were starting with Bad Omens, and I
love Bad Omens.
Yeah. Awesome band. Good, scarily humble and nice for
unreal humble, unreal nice.
Yeah.
Insane to watch them in these last 2 years, the success they've had. I don't know if they even really know it.
Oh, I feel like they have.
Other than like they get stressed out because the fan aspect of it is not what they've necessarily chased after. It is like,
it's like obsessive kind of like, and I think it's just because Noah kind of became like somewhat of an icon, but it felt like it was just overnight. And I think it's super deserved, but along with that comes certain things in your fan base.
And I actually think, I think artists that care deeply about the art, when anything else becomes the focus, I think it's hard for them to accept.
Yeah.
When the focus feels like it's shifted on something and it's not the art, when that's what they actually care about. And I think that lots of bands struggle with that, but they handle it really well.
Yeah, they were great guys to tour with. Yeah, we were on their tour, and we had an album come out the day that the tour started. And do you know what like metalcore Reddit is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just they were like it just felt like there was a pocket of these people on this forum that loved us. I mean, that album came out and for us, and it was the first time I had seen like most of them were kind of like shitting on the album, and I was just sort of like, it's funny, you see like 1,000 good comments about how great the record is, and there's like 5 people going like, it kind of sucks, or it's not as good as Sleep Talk, and then you just really start, it's just you start getting really into your head because you're like, oh man, did we make a bad record? Like, did it happen? And I was too close to it to even see that it was a thing. And then like a few days in, I was just kind of like, I'm on this tour with my band and Bad Omens, and it's sold out every night. The merch numbers are crazy. Our streaming's it was just kind of like, and since that record's come out, it's only gone so much better for us. And that was a record I really wanted to make just because of like what I was going through at the time. And it's interesting because I wrote half of it about my experience with my dad passing away from cancer. And it was just sort of like,
when did that happen?
July of 2021. Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, it happens. You know, he was sick for a really long time, but I think in the middle of it, you're always kind of like, it was like every time we hit a hiccup in his health or like a new thing would pop up in his body, doctors would be like, we're going to do this surgery, and there's this like radiation we can do. There's all these like really interesting things we can do to help him. And then it hit this weird point where I didn't even know this until it happened to my dad, but I guess when your cancer metastasizes, where it spreads to other parts of your body, it's like a death sentence essentially. And so it's just more of a matter of time. So initially started in like his thyroid glands here, and then spread to like his lungs and his brain, his spinal cord. And then eventually it was kind of weird. We hit a point, it was like a month after my daughter was born, and they were like, we can do like a surgery on his spine maybe, but it might paralyze him if we do it. And it would really only buy him a couple more months. So they were like, he probably has like 3 to 6 months to live. So I think they were like, we think he should just make himself comfortable. And that was hard to hear, but the naive part of my brain is kind of like, it's so rough. He's going to be around for a few more years. Like, I'm not that worried about it. And it was pretty much dead on 6 months from that quote. He ended up passing away, but it's, I don't know if you've experienced like a loss like that, but it definitely felt like it didn't get super real until like maybe like a month or a month and a half before he died, because he stopped eating and he started losing a lot of weight super rapidly. And then I was living in LA at the time, and he was in Orange County. And so I would try and take my daughter to see him like every week, just so they could hang out, and I'd bring him food. And then definitely when he stopped eating food, I was like, oh shit. Like, there was this like hospice packet they sent us home with. It said like, your body like stops burning as much energy when it's preparing to shut down. So your appetite like greatly diminishes. And it's just every week I would see him, he'd look so much worse. And then it just hit this point where we had like a chat before he passed, because I could tell it was coming. And thankfully I got to say pretty much everything I wanted to say to him. And just like, we lived together for a long time, and I felt like I don't know if impatient's the right word. There were just times where you get annoyed of each other because you're around each other too much.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd ask me for something, and I'd just be like, like, fine, you know. And I like apologized to him before he passed. I was like, I'm sorry. I feel like I could have been more patient when you were going through what you were going through. And he's like, you don't have to apologize. And we had a nice, healthy talk, and I'm like really thankful for that. But it's a trip that it's just like, man, this stuff doesn't really feel real until it's like right there in front of you, kind of, you know?
Yeah, it can't feel real till it's there.
I don't mean to pry or anything. Yeah. Are both of your parents like alive and well?
So I have never talked about it until I sat down with The Rock. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know I needed to talk about it.
Yeah.
I've never talked about my dad really at length, other than that we had a complicated relationship and he left when I was young.
Right.
But we reconnected once I had kids. I was probably 29.
Did you initiate that, or did you?
I did, but he was very happy. So I knew
he was like waiting.
He was waiting, and he was a very humble guy. You know, when I was young, he had a lot of problems. He and I understand that now. as he got older, I think he still had the problem with alcohol, and to be honest, he 2-pack a day, Marlboro Red smoker, and heavy drinker. Worked his ass off his whole life. Kind of old school, like really tough. Would get into the occasional like bar fight, or it was just like, but like so lovable. And I saw so much of myself in him. We became friends. So I reached back out.
When you reconnected.
When I had my first kid, I was 29.
Did you do that kind of for the sake of your kids having a relationship with your dad, or
I don't know,
did you just
man.
feel like
I had
time?
always wanted to, because I think you always want to have a relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
I had done all the venting I needed to do on all the Good Charlotte records. That was like one of our things. Like, I hate my dad too. That's what everyone would say. Yeah. Like, my dad left me too. I hate my dad too. The story I never got to tell, and I do feel like at some point maybe I will in my music, is like there is also something about reconciling if you can.
Totally.
Right? And repairing what you can.
Yeah.
It turns out he appreciated it, but at the beginning when I had my kid, it was a lingering thing that I had always had, and I didn't want to carry that with me. I didn't want to carry any kind of bad or toxic or unhealthy energy with me, because that's where I was kind of like at in my life. I was trying to like go into a positive, and it was my wife, it was my kids. I was like, oh, I think I need to try and actively be in positive and healthy and like good.
Yeah.
Instead of living in bad, right? Because we can hang around in like bad shit.
Yeah.
And not really know it, because it's all we've kind of known or expected for ourselves. So I reached out to him, me and my brother, and it was really nice. We had a really nice friendship for the 10 years that we got. And then he died suddenly. And
sorry to hear that.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, it was really sad. I didn't even know if I'd be sad, and we were friends, but like, I think when we lose a parent, especially one that we have a complicated or conflicted relationship with, part of the sadness is we do love them, and we have to come to terms with it. We still love them.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to love them, because it hurts to like love someone who doesn't maybe love you back the way you want to be loved. Or you look over at your friend and he's all close with his dad, and he's asking him about, hey, should I do this or should I do that? And he's getting advice, and you get a little jealous of these relationships.
Yeah, totally.
But you have to come to terms with what your reality was.
Yeah.
And the reality is, yes, it was complicated. Yes, there was a lot I didn't get, but then there was still stuff I did get. In the years I remember my dad when he was around, from my formative years before I was like 13, I didn't get a lot of memories with him, but because all he did was work, and he was just old school. He was like, I got to put a roof over your head and put food on the table.
Yeah. I think I relate to that definitely in ways where my dad wasn't, definitely, I think, a better parent than my mom was, but still not in like, very stern, closed off emotionally.
Not as emotionally in touch. Like, hey, how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Never. It was
what are you going through?
Yeah. I guess the point I was getting at is that I feel like there were times when I was younger that I'd get upset with my dad without telling him, because I felt like I was going through things, and I just wanted him to ask how I was doing, and he didn't really do that. And I think truthfully, I never really like full on hated him, or I was just kind of like, damn, it'd be nice if you checked in, and it's, I think to your point, I became a father. And then I think in just the experience of what it was like in taking care of my daughter, even in just the first few months of her life, I was like, this is wild. This is a big responsibility. Yeah. It's you're constantly taking care of this little thing that depends on you. And I think doing that in and of itself is like, it's maybe not fair to like crucify your parents because they didn't go the extra mile to do this other thing that you wanted. And I think I said that in my dad's eulogy, that after becoming a father myself, that I chose to love my dad for the person he was and not who he wasn't. Yeah, you were financially supportive and you stuck around through a really horrible time in my life, but you like didn't ask how I was doing. So like, I don't like you. It's just sort of
And then you realize he didn't even know how to ask how you were doing.
Yeah,
like
probably.
They didn't have the awareness.
Yeah.
They weren't even asking themselves how they were doing.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Like my dad wasn't going like, how do I feel about this? He was just going to work, coming home, dealing with all the struggle with my mom and dealing with his his relationship with alcohol, was dealing with the trauma of his childhood. I'm not excusing my experience, but we have to separate. I've learned I got to separate them.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm blaming myself. We can hold them accountable for the sake of understanding the truth of our life and not telling ourselves a fairy tale so we can live with it.
Totally.
What I did was create a story that I could live with for a long time. And it was easier for me to go, my dad didn't love me. He left, and he left me on my own. So he did leave, but it doesn't mean he didn't love me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to accept that he left, but I can try and understand the complication of all that and make peace with it.
Yeah.
So that I can move on and grow and be a better dad myself without holding this like heavy, angry, hurt part, right? I was talking about this with my therapist, actually. We either repeat what our parents did or we heal what they did. And usually coming from a broken, fragmented kind of family situation, we go into parenting and our usual strategy is just do the opposite. That's a great strategy, by the way. Like most of us that come from complicated, broken homes, we're like, I want to do the opposite. We don't even get into the details of opposite. We just know what feels opposite. And we try to do opposite.
Yeah, just be there and, show up. You know, it's an easy.
But once you get opposite down, you can start digging in on like details.
Yeah.
You can start deciding like philosophies, and you can start trying to like be even more thoughtful about like how you do opposite.
Your own version of a parent instead of just like, I'm not that. Yeah. Honestly, man, I think for your sake, I'm truthfully just happy that you made amends before anything happened to your father. Because I think if, God forbid, if you would have been the type of person to be like, no, like I'm holding on to it and like, fuck that guy. And then something happens, I think you would have a really hard time, I think, in your life accepting that. So I'm happy that I think in the same way with my mom, it's like, we're not super close, but I still see her every once in a while. And at some point I had a period where I didn't talk to her for like 5 or 6 years. And then
that's probably healthy.
The space was nice, but I think you hit this point of just understanding like, I can only change what I can change. So she made her bed and then I'm going to deal with it the best way that I know how. But I don't think like resenting her is serving her or me in a good way. And it's good to hear, man. I feel like I have friends who are in similar situations to yours and they're just like, no, fuck my parent. And I'm just like, if they can pass away and then you still are content with your feelings, that's fine, I guess. But if that's not the case, then you need to like fix that immediately.
You don't want to carry that bag the rest of your life.
No. It's man, it's horrible. It's just, it bums me out because I feel like I have a lot of friends in my life who are good people and they're just trying to do their best. But I can also see that they hang on to stuff that they shouldn't be, you know?
But I think at the core of that is someone who wants to be loved.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I have a buddy who went through something very, very similar to what you went through. And he's still very like, fuck my dad for not being there. And he has 2 kids too. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man, maybe just reach out.
But also like when I reconnected with him, he was super proud of me, but he was never a materialistic guy.
Oh, what a trip. Cause you must have like, when did like Good Charlotte kind of hit its like
early 20s?
So he wasn't really like...
He wasn't around.
That's so wild.
So he's super proud of me.
Yeah.
And he followed all of it, but that wasn't the focus.
Yeah.
And he never cared about it. He just thought it was cool. He was like, you guys did well for yourselves. He was really proud of it. But that was not the focus of our relationship. And that was really nice. Like, if you think like after 21, everyone who I ever met, Good Charlotte was like the main theme of how we knew each other. And that's cool. I always appreciated that success, but like for a long time, I held that success as the most important thing about me. I met my wife and I would say 2 key people. So I give my dad a lot of credit, but 2 really big keys of like getting back to like, no, what if that's not the most important thing about me?
Yeah.
Like, what if that's not what's special about me? Like, what if I didn't ever make it? Would I still be valuable? Would I still be like important to someone?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we all have to get. Is like that self-love, that self-esteem of like, yeah, the music is great. I'm going to keep trying to do great things and try my best. But like, what if that is not what the measure of me is? What if it's like our friendship?
Yeah.
And that's one thing when I met my wife, she was not that interested in that. And
In the music thing?
yeah, she thought it was cool.
Yeah.
She didn't care.
That's great.
And then when I reconnected with my dad,
really nice.
it was the same thing.
Yeah.
He loved it, but he didn't care.
Yeah.
I'd tell him about some work thing or this, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. That sounds good." But you can feel when someone's hyper focused on that, or they just want to know you.
Yeah. I think that's been a tough thing to kind of get used to with like popularity that's come in music is just
What's it mean?
yeah, I don't know. It's just more so like I don't want to call people climbers. It's just I can just tell when people want to be close to me for the wrong reasons. But
God bless them.
Yeah.
In their mind, they're getting closer to something that they want.
Yeah.
So I don't even hold it against them.
Yeah.
But you feel a difference, right?
It just feels I think back on like girls I dated in my like early 20s and mid 20s when like music was not like my family would go like still doing that little music thing, huh? Yeah.
Good luck, kid.
And I was still working my like job, and I mean I was still proud of the music, but I dated a few girls so I could tell just they were with me because they liked my personality or just the type of person I was, and it's just been weird to navigate the last couple of years, feeling like some people come out of the woodworks where I just feel like they're trying to get close to me because they have an idea of who I am before they even meet me, and it's hard sometimes to differentiate like who I trust or but I truthfully though I feel like my life is so wrapped up in the music and just being a father that I don't even really entertain it a lot of the time.
Fatherhood is a good thing for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remind you that nothing else really matters.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think with every stage of your life, right, with every success or failure, you get a better understanding of what that actually means, like how to measure it even. What I learned in my 30s was what's my idea of success versus like everyone else.
Yeah.
And then I'm not mad at anyone when I meet him and they're like, "Oh, the guy from Good Charlotte." Of course I am, right? Like you're going to be that. Someone's going to, "Hey, I love Dayseeker." You're like, "Thank you." And that's like the first layer. And if we get past that layer and you get to know me, you might like me more than you like my music.
Yeah.
Because that's also the thing is like someone meets you, maybe they like your music, or maybe they don't fucking care about your music. They just know your band.
Yeah.
And in the moment they say they like your music, who even knows, right? We don't know. But it's the surface of who we are. It's the cover of the book, right? But given the opportunity to get to know me, you might find out the value of me is not actually anything to do with music.
Yeah.
Might be that I am a good friend or, whatever. But I got to find that in me too. And for a long time, I walked around and I really did only value myself at the size of my band or whatever song was doing good or whatever. And so I was constantly chasing what I thought was success was like this thing and that is just a function of self-esteem, period. Like my self-esteem was not high enough to think I had more value than this music. And this music being successful was somehow a magic trick that the stars lined up and suddenly the music got big. How did that happen? Well, it happened because we worked really hard and we made some records and we toured and we did all the things and the music grew and we got some opportunities and we took advantage of them and blah, blah, blah. You're going to do that too. Every band's going to do that. What happens in the music world is with bands, sometimes we can be shy. Sometimes we can be made to feel like we're competing with one another. We're not. I like to try and create an environment where we can have this conversation because we all have likely had like a similar experience.
Yeah.
We're coming from the same place.
Similar lives for sure. We took the road less traveled. I don't know, from a lot of people we went to high school with.
Yeah, chose a weird job.
Yeah. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, you guys are having a good run. Are you from Orange County?
Yeah. Born in Anaheim, kind of grew up around there and like Fullerton and kind of bounced around Orange County and LA the last couple of years, but this is definitely my home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've been here 20 years.
Yeah, you're from Maryland, right? I think, yeah.
Yeah, Maryland.
Dude, my tour manager, and she does our front of house too, is like a giant Good Charlotte fan. Like,
that's cool. What's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah, okay.
Sarah, yeah. She's
my sister's name.
Yeah, she's the best, but she Yeah, I was telling them that like word spread around when we were touring Bad Omens that you guys came out to the House of Blue show in Anaheim, I think, to see him. And she was like, "Oh my god, they're here!" Like she was
That's funny.
yeah. So there was some like video, or she had some thing that you guys released that she used to watch all the time. I think it was like inside the studio when you guys were working on your records or something. And yeah, she like just burned it into the ground watching it over and over again.
That's cool.
So she's I'd love if we're ever playing a show and our paths cross, just
Dude, we should do
have you
shows. We
just say
we
hi
should
to
try
her
to
or
do
something.
some shows together.
It
would work.
That'd be crazy. It would, yeah. Yeah.
I went to the Bad Omen show at the Palladium.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah.
And it made me want to tour again.
Your audience is there, man. I feel like it'd be good for you guys to capitalize on it. Like, I feel like Yellow Card had a thing where they like,
Yeah.
and I love Yellow Card, but they like, it was like they felt like their time was done and they dipped out, and then
Yeah.
like they came back and just blew out rooms, and it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
I feel like, and I feel like you guys would go probably like double than what your audience is definitely still there, and there is this like resurgence for older.
We played when we were young and we had a great time. It was the first show in 5 years, and we did 2 shows. The whole band, we all felt like it was really nice, and all our families were there, and it was really nice. The next Good Charlotte tour, I want to do a world tour, and I just want to pick like 30 cities, some US. We got to do South America. That's like a big place for us. Asia is a big place for us. Europe, all over Europe. So 30 cities would be hard to get. Places like Hungary and
Like
Czech
London,
Republic.
yeah,
and
yeah.
obviously the UK,
Yeah.
France, Germany. Like Germany is like great for us. We love Germany. We always had a great relationship with Germany. Like
wild.
the tours were always amazing there.
Yeah.
Australia. So when I start adding up all the cities, I'm like 30. I don't know if we can get it in 30 cities. Then the US, you're trying to figure out which cities you really like. Chicago, we have to go.
Primary A markets,
Philly,
New York, LA.
New York, LA. So you start stacking all the cities together. And you're like, I think we need 2 months to get all the cities that we feel like emotionally attached to.
Yeah.
And then finding that 2 months, that's going to be the key. Is like, is it in the summer? And then we just bring all the those are the conversations we've been having
Yeah.
for like a year, is trying to figure out how do we do this. We're working on some music.
Cool.
So that's starting to happen. And that's exciting because I think it's really good. So that's a big one for us, is we don't want to go out without music. So we really feel like that drives us to want to go out and play.
Yeah.
And then we want to,
You sprinkle in a bunch of your new stuff with your older stuff, and
yeah, even if it's just like 3 bangers, just
yeah.
make 3 bangers, put them out. And then, okay, now how do we do the whole world? And what do we need? We need 8 weeks. One of my best friends, this guy, Matt Coma, he's in a band called Winnetka Bowling League. He's now playing with us.
I know, was he the singer in the band?
He still is.
Oh, dude, I think I saw them open up for Sasha Sloan.
Yeah, probably.
Dude,
He's badass.
dude, they blew me away.
He's so
they
good.
have, oh man, I think they have this song called "Are You Okay?"
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, I saw it live and it like made me emotional.
Yeah.
So it's funny, they pop up on my Spotify all the time.
Yeah.
I think they like just put out something like
They
a
did.
week ago or something.
They did a song called Sha La La.
Yeah, dude,
Really good.
good singer. He
singer.
plays with you guys now?
He plays with us now.
Awesome.
And we played together in Vegas, and it sounded better. Like live, I think we did a week of rehearsals, or 8 days of rehearsals with him. It sounded better than we've ever sounded. I think as you get older, you just get better too.
Yeah.
And when
Is he just playing guitar and
he's
singing?
playing guitar, keys, singing.
Awesome.
He's a producer, so he produces things, and I really feel like he brought another layer to live.
Dude, hell yeah.
So that was tight.
Small world, man.
Yeah. And he's an old friend of mine, and he's like one of my best friends. So it's also fun to like, and we're all friends. So figuring out touring for like 6 guys with families, that's the hardest part for all of us.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it
I think, you get your new music out and then you'll hit the road,
What's your like dream tour? Is there a band that you just like, if we could tour with them, whether you've met them or not?
Honestly, Architects for a long time was like a bucket list, like
That'd be a great tour.
Yeah, just have a lot of respect for them. And obviously, I think just some parallels and like the great loss they suffered. And they're super transparent about it when they play. And I feel like I am too with my dad. I feel like our fan bases would cross over really well. I was a big Thrice fan growing up.
I love Thrice.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Just, I feel like we're living out some stuff like Bring Me the Horizon, you know, like just bands like that would be just crazy.
It's cool where like rock music is today.
It's exciting. It's very, I think it used to get pigeonholed in a box. If you really tried getting out of it, there was a lot of negative rejection. And then I think it got so stale that now people are starved for, I don't know, like infusions of pop and 80s and synth and just however weirder you can make the rock. I think Bad Omens is like a great example of that. Like,
Yeah.
just kind of genre bending stuff, but it's still just good music, and it like reinforces it. Cause I think you can tell when somebody's trying to do something different and it feels inauthentic, or like it's like a metal band that's like, I want to be Octane. So they make some guy sing who's not super comfortable, and you can just tell that there's no life in the music.
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to be marketable.
Feel organic.
But I think that's where like bands like Bad Omens or like Sleep Token find success, because they're just like, we're just going to make a weird record and that we really like and just kind of see what happens. And I think people have a lot of respect for it, but it's cool. I mean, it's just, there's like R&B, pop. Yeah, there's just so much different stuff you can do with rock music. Yeah.
I totally agree. When something feels forced, it's hard to listen to. But when you find that band that's organically just making whatever the fuck they want because they think it's cool, and they're okay with like not a lot of people, if that's the case.
Yeah.
It makes me happy because I think that's where all good rock music comes from, is guys and girls making music that they just like.
Yeah.
And I think we live in a world where people are trying to construct things to put on their TikTok or whatever. And
totally.
And that's a whole that's a hustle that I totally respect. But like, you want to believe that there's a kid somewhere that's picking up a guitar at 15. I feel like that's the romantic part of what we do, is that we were 15 and we picked a guitar up not knowing how to play a guitar and going, I think I could do that. I feel like it's worth trying.
Yeah.
And then we did it. And now, you have a life because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one told you like you can do it. You had like, no one took it seriously. No one like around you was like, hey, you're going to do really well at this. You literally just had to do it.
Yeah. I think my sister at one point said like, I could see it happening for you, but I was like 20 and I was kind of like, yeah, man. Even I think I had a lot of self-doubt for a minute, and it is just, there's a weird crossover a few years ago where I was like, oh, I'm like in the middle of it and I don't even realize it's happening, because I'm just like, it just doesn't feel real sometimes.
It's happening.
It's like you play and then you're like, shit,
Yeah.
there's like 2,000 people here to see us play. It's
And
weird.
more people keep coming.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's what happens when the music's good. If you ever wonder, like, is my music any good? More people are coming. It's good.
I hope so. It is. It's on a nice trajectory right now. We're
Yeah.
going to headline in the fall. We have a great lineup. It's good. They're like, I don't know, like 2,000 to 3,000 caps. So just going to go out
Exciting.
swinging and just hope for the best. But I'm like, the lineup to me still doesn't make sense that we got some of the bands we got. But like, I think it's going to be great.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we like winded through a lot of stuff.
We're good, man. I got to grab my kid from daycare pretty soon. So yeah.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Artist Friendly. If you really liked it, you can follow, like, subscribe to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.
Bad times, I don't